That was so real. That was so real, fam. Um, I was actually gonna. I was gonna make a video on this, but remember, I feel like I had this conversation with you before a long time ago. But remember, if you remember, I think we talked about how like there's a difference between people who learn how to be good at a medium, like a certain skill, whether you're like an artist or a painter or like a pianist or a drummer or something. Like there's a difference between people who learn how to be good at that said thing from like actually taking courses and learning the technicalities of it, as opposed to someone who may have did the same thing or may not have, but they were like naturally good, right? Like when you are in that realm yourself, like you're deeper in the art, like drawing and painting realm than I am. So like I'm sure you can see the nuances and differences in people who are just naturally talented, who just keep honing their craft, as opposed to people who learned it from like taking a class. And like what I had mentioned in that when we were talking about that was like, sorry if I sound nasal, like my I just got like allergies and my nose is stuffed up. But what I was mentioning in that is that I feel like there's a lot of people who are really good at something and they may be doing it, but it may not be their purpose, right? And I think that sometimes when you're on social media and you're like around just so many ideas, you might try something and you might discover your purpose through social media. But I feel like there's a lot of artists, whether you're a musician or an actual artist or a writer, like there's a lot of people who are doing those things that they like do it because they learned how to do it and it wasn't their purpose. And I feel like when something is your purpose, you may learn like you may go to like take classes and like technicalities and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you were born with that gift to be able to do such said thing, or you were born with that knack or desire to do such said thing, right? And I say that because I don't know. I'm still exploring. I don't know yet, like where what Yah has in store for me in terms of like actual art. But these past couple of weeks, I've literally just been diving into drawing, and my YouTube feed has just changed, shifted. Like now I get just a bunch of like art related things, right? And I've been trying different styles of sketching. This one style that I really like that I learned is a thing recently is called minimal sketching. So you're like basically like trying to get the shape of what you're looking at, and it helps you then hone in on the details after you get the basic shape. And I've never done that before, and I tried it today for the first time, and it was a pretty good experience. But when I was a kid, before social media even was a thing, I didn't have like like we're old enough to remember life without like TikTok and Snapchat or even Instagram. Like when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there was no Instagram, right? And so I always had a desire to write and draw. Those are two things that I always loved doing. I have a drawing notebook from when I was like 7 or 8 years old or nine. It's not filled up, not even close. But there's a lot of drawings in there. And I just naturally wanted to draw. My brother was the same way, like my younger brother. We just naturally wanted to draw. There was no outside influence like through like social media be like, oh, maybe I should pick this up, you know? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who do pick up things from looking on social media. I'm just saying that like when something is just like innate in you, you wouldn't need any type of coercion or influence to do it. You would just do it. And that was literally me withdrawing. And I stopped for so many years for those same reasons. Because, like, out of fear or, like, personally, I'm not even going to cap with you personally. When I was learning, when I was drawing, like, when I didn't know, like, different, like, technical terms and stuff, I was just drawing, right, and figuring it out. I would get like the little drawing books that give you step by step. I'd do that, figure it out, or just draw what I wanted to draw. But once I started to like become anal about it and started comparing my art to other people who were years ahead of me, I stopped drawing because I was like, dang, bro, I'm not making any progress. And personally, like, I think eventually I'll probably like look up some terms of like certain things. Like every now and then I watch a YouTube video of like a different style of drawing or a different technical term or whatever to help me along the way. But personally, one of the worst things that I did when I tried to get back into drawing, I bought a drawing course on this website and I started to just watch it and follow along. And the guy was like taking you from like 0 to like 1,000. And it was a long course. It wasn't like it was like a whole course in like an hour. It was like a long course for like maybe it was like I think the total set thing was like 20 something hours. So like it'd take you a while to go through it. But that was like the worst thing I could have ever did, bro. Because for me, it was putting me in a confine. It was boxing me in, and it wasn't my brain was like was like glitching because I saw it as I couldn't just freely draw because like he'd give you like examples of draw, and I pretty much wasted my money. I didn't even go through with it, and that was months ago. And then I came back to drawing again, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start drawing just stuff I like. So I started drawing like, abstract faces and like all this different type of stuff. And then it moved on to like me watching videos of people giving tips. And I was like, dang, like there's the whole world out here of like just different styles. And then I got into the minimalist drawing and you sent me that video. I was like, bro, like I feel like I imprisoned myself with sketching and art for a very long time. Like I'm sometimes I wonder how great I'd be if I didn't stop for such a long time. 'Cause I stopped when I was like a 12 or 11, all the way up until my adulthood. Another reason why I stopped because someone in my family, I'm not gonna say names, but you probably have heard this before in your own family or heard a similar thing. Someone in my family told me that artists starve, and that's not a real job, and like you can't make a living just creating art. And that telling a child that is like crushing. So like I didn't pursue it really anymore. But now after so many years of so many battles, so many mental, spiritual blockages, freeing from that, I've gotten back into the art world and let's just like opening up every single day, like even my dreams, bro. Like I'm remembering more of my dreams. Even when I take a nap, I remember my dreams, and it's like low key overwhelming. But I'm just like, bro, I want to see how far I can go with this. Like I've already like I'm able to like imagine the level that I can get to. So the fact that I can able to visually like I can visually imagine the level that I can get to if I stay consistent with drawing, with writing, with photography. But we're talking about drawing. So with drawing, I know the level I can get to if I stay consistent with it because drawing is so natural for me. Like I don't struggle to draw because my imagination is so vast that like to be able to take what I had in my mind and put it on paper or just look out like so I like to look at pictures or just go out in the world and draw what I see. It's not very hard for me to conceptualize. I just need to like get better at it so it actually like looks more accurate, so that I can then break whatever rule I did and make it to whoever I want. It's very much bending it to my liking. Haven't gotten to that point yet. But since I can see that myself doing that, like I can literally see it, it makes the process for me even more enjoyable because I know that I'm going to get there if I stay consistent in drawing. And for me, I want to draw every single day, personally. It doesn't have to be like Picasso. It don't have to be something crazy. I have a sketchbook. I have multiple sketchbooks, but the one I'm using is it's like one of the ones that you flip back. It's like a 5 by 7, nothing too big, and I draw on pen. I have pencil. I have like graphite pencils and stuff, but like recently, I've just been enjoying drawing in pen. Once I get better at drawing, I'll go to pencil probably. But I've been enjoying having something permanent from the first stroke. So I can't even think about erasing because I know myself. If I see that I messed up, I'm gonna erase it. Nah, no erasing. Figure it out, you know. And that has been helping me so, so much. So when you sent that video, it was literally like icing on the cake because there are so many people, so many talented people who were born to be artists and never did it because they never got out their head. And it's sad that in that video he was talking about how his mother was abused by her father and her father and her husband, and like that pretty much put her in her shell of people telling her she couldn't do this and that. Like once you get past that, right? Once you finally realize that most of the things that people around you say mean absolutely nothing, man, there's like a whole whirlwind that Yah opens up in your mind once you finally get to that realization that most people around you may actually love you, may actually care for you. It may not, you may not just have straight up ops. Most people around you may actually love you, but since they haven't done what you are trying to do, they are going to give you negative feedback. They're going to pretty much speak on your downfall. Not all the times knowingly, but a lot of people who are unaware of the greatness in you, or they're unaware of the path you're trying to take because they don't know about it because they didn't take it. No, those that really care about you, they spew out fear in what they say. But when you get to the point where you don't even listen to that no more because you're like, I'm not listening to anyone who's not going to help me get to where I need to go. I'm not listening to anyone who hasn't done what I've done because why would I listen to you if you're not even on that path? Now, I would listen to you like in other things because you can find wisdom out of anyone, even a 4-year-old kid. But specifically, whatever it is that you're trying to do, like whatever craft, like if you want some piano advice, you wouldn't go to someone who's not a pianist. Or if you were an artist, you wouldn't go to someone who's not an artist for advice. That's why, like, I personally don't even tell nobody really about what I got going on with my creative endeavors. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. And then once it's done, then, alright, look, this is what I've been doing, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It's really like that. And, like, everything's just coming full circle to me right now. And it's just a beautiful moment because I remember when I was a little kid, I would be in my room for hours drawing. Sometimes I would want to draw more than go outside. I remember this now, like it's coming back to my thoughts. Like I loved drawing growing up, then just stopped one day at still an early age and then didn't pick it back up. I tried to pick it back up when I was around 19, 20, but it wasn't clicking. Like my spiritual life and things weren't clicking. And now things are finally starting to click, and I'm in my mid 20s now. Man. It's like the feeling of going your whole life trying to figure it out. And I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know everything. I'm still trying to figure it out. But you get to a point where you like find a little bit of a spark and then you run with it. And that's like where I'm at now. I'm just like, bro, I can literally see the high caliber artist that I can become because that is me. If you know about time, time is not linear, as in like one thing happens after the other. Everything happens at the same time. So the fact that I can see myself being that top notch artist, and I'm not that right now because I'm still learning and growing, that means that person already exists. I just haven't
seen the physical manifestation of it yet. In the spiritual realm, everything's already happening at once, like a film strip that you can see. I just haven't gotten to that part yet. And I just think that that's the craziest, wildest thing ever. And Yah is the dopest for giving me these revelations. Um, yeah, wow.